that better?
Yeah, that's better.
The reason I'm calling is that I heard the recorded sound of the ship.
We'll do that again also, give you some more of it.
Okay. The thing that kind of interested me was the fundamental frequency. I believe you said 7.85 hertz.
You're right in that area. The Earth resonance, I guess it's generally known as, or the Schumann resonance.
Now, is that the electrical resonance?
No, that's a sound. It's one we can't hear.
It's natural, Bill.
It's a natural resonance of the Earth.
It's the natural electromagnetic resonance of Earth. It was discovered by Nikola Tesla.
Right.
Okay. And it varies. Well, his was at 6.6 cycles. Then Schumann came in, discovered a second resonance at 7.8 cycles per second.
So you are saying this is an electrical resonance?
Well, it would be, it would be an electromagnetic resonance. It's one of the dangerous resonance, actually, that is involved with the woodpecker sounds that are being broadcast into the Soviet Union, or from the Soviet Union to us.
Well, let me ask you, Lee, what significance, with your research and stuff like that, what kind of significance do you, attribute to that very low frequency?
Could you repeat that, Bill? I can't hear.
He wanted to know what significance you attribute to the fact that the consistent frequency that is coming up on the scopes is that very low frequency of 7.885.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I'm not really qualified to get into this, but basically, as a real vague overview, there are a lot of theories. There's a gentleman down in New Zealand, I think, by the name of... the name escapes me right now, but he's done a lot of work in that area, but a lot of people feel that the spacecraft are using electromagnetic grid points for their grounding, if we want to call that, so they can ground into this, I don't know if atmosphere is the right word or not.
Magnetic lines of energy. They seem to have a floating effect at some times, as if they are riding these undulating magnetic waves.
I think I've read about something like this. Isn't there a guy in Florida who has written a book dealing with this grid system covering the Earth?
Got me.
I don't know. The man in New Zealand, his name escapes me, but he's done some work in Harmonics 33 and several other books.
Well, maybe it's the same guy. I just thought it was from Florida.
Gentlemen, I hope you can get him on your show some night. It would really be interesting to talk to Bill, and that's David Froning, right over in your area in Pacific Palisades.
David Froning?
David Froning, and he is very knowledgeable in this area, and he's got a lot of theories, and he's done a lot of work, and he's followed the Meier case for about 5 years now.
Well,
but anyway, if you can get him, it would be an interesting show.
I'm always looking for interesting shows.
One further question, please. The sound that you played over the radio, was that of a ship hovering?
I didn't hear that.
Was the sounds that we played, was the ship hovering? I suspect it was more or less moving around a little bit, but within range of where Billy was recording.
Yes. There's an interesting story behind that recording. Not only was Billy recording, but also his wife, Poppy, was recording. They had, the kids were there. There were 3 or 4 other people there. They never saw the ship. The ship never materialized during the recording, and the recording is like 30 to 40 minutes long. Billy was approximately 150 yards away from his wife. They were separated. Each had a tape recorder, and each recorded the sounds, and the witnesses told us, and we really cross-examined them over a period of days, but they told us they never saw the ship, number one. Number two, what amazed them was there was really no source. I mean, they could not get out of range from it. It seemed like it was everywhere, all-encompassing. If they moved to the right, it was still there. If they moved to the left, it was still there.
It seems I recall Wendell telling us one evening that some of the people from the nearby village started coming up because they were hearing it too.
Yes, that's very true. The sound was heard at a great distance. I think it was like a half mile away. And people from other villages, farmers working in the field heard it, and they came to the source. But no one ever saw anything, and that's That's what was amazing.
Well, it sounds pretty fascinating.
But after you see beam shift, though, the movie footage, it's not really that amazing because when that ship dematerializes...
Right in front of you.
Right in front of you. And you can see almost like a light shift occur. Whereas the scenery, it's almost like an umbrella appears above the craft and bends light away from the scene because the scene under and around the area where the ship is hovering becomes much darker.
And it also has this very same phenomena. The shift in light happens just before it reappears.
Yes.
A 30th of a second or something, or 0.3 of a second. There is a consistency in the time of that.
It's 3/20, Bill, 3/20 of a second, and it's prior and after. It's prior to the dematerialization and after it rematerializes.
That's being looked at very carefully right now by John Bedini and Tom Bearden and some of the other people I know who understand those things. They have an explanation, by the way.
I'd love to hear it.
It's rather involved, but I want you to hear it when you get into town.
I would love to, and I'd love David Froning to hear that, too.
Okay, does that help you?
One more thing, please.
Okay.
What was the name of the tape again?
The name of the what?
The name of the tape.
Beam Ship, the movie footage. We're calling the whole trilogy. We're producing a trilogy of approximately 4 hours on this case. And what we're doing is editing down 12 hours of footage shot by NTV in 79 and 80 into a 4-hour trilogy. And we call it the Beam Ship Trilogy. And the first tape produced is Beam Ship, the movie footage. And the second is Beam Ship, the metal. And it'll be available here in about 5 days.
Now, when you say beam ship, that's like B-E-A-M?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what they call the ship, so
right.
We can't figure any reason why we should call them anything else.
And I like it much better than UFO or flying saucers or alien encounters. Has a nice ring to it, and that's what they refer to their ships as.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And we have Edward on the line.
Good evening.
Hello, Edward.
Good evening, Bill, and good evening, Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you don't hear my heart, because I am so excited that you finally have somebody I can really get into. And Lee, welcome.
Well, thank you.
I've been in contact with Genesis Lee since 1980, and I have both volumes of the photo journals. And,
You have both volumes, huh?
Yeah, low
You want to know volume
too.
1?
I have low serial numbers, too. And I also have the tape, which I just received a couple of weeks ago.
Could you hold it, Edward, because I've got a little something I've got to do.
Sure.
And then you can have it, Lee, here as it.
Okay, Lee. Bill says that he could never take anyone with him as close as he could get to the spacecraft, and so they had to stay behind. In the Beam Ship movie, there's a sequence where he goes up into the mountain and he sits down and you see the beam ship in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
But there seems to be movement of the camera. It looks like, I can't remember right now, but it's either a widening of the zoom or closed up or whatever.
Okay, yes. What is occurring at that point is the Japanese film crew. They are zooming in, not Billy, not his camera. Okay?
They were taking pictures of Billy's movie projector.
Yes, I was aware of that, but it
Yeah.
seems to me that what I'm referring to actually occurred in the actual footage, not the footage that the Japanese were doing. But that's okay. I can accept that because while I had the books, there was always a doubt in the back of my head about the reality of this thing. After I got the beam ship footage, I said, this is it. This is for real.
Do you really feel that way about that footage?
Well, I have an RCA VCR,
Yeah.
and it has special effect at the top of the line. So I'm able to not only put it in slow motion, but I can slow it down even more.
Good.
And what happens is, when the beam ship disappears in a few sequences,
Right.
I can slow the tape down so that when it reappears slowly as a point of light that gets brighter, as opposed to just coming on, which would indicate to people that it would be a fake, whatever. Here is proof that this thing is originating out of nowhere.
Now you understand why we released this tape.
Yes, it's great.
It's obvious it's not a cut film clip, isn't it?
No, that's what I'm trying to say, that it is not. That it is one straight sequence. And, of course, the darkening of the area's green trees and the grass and all that, that's That's mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing. What is happening here?
Let me ask you a question. On